Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade. This is How to App on iOS. And today, we're going to be having a look at AUv3.
Oh, yeah, man.
But first, hot off the press. One of my favourite artists dropped a brand new song and brand new video clip. This is Glenn Clark from New Zealand, and this is The Sinnerman.
I don't need your prayer, I don't need your judgment. Am I the one to fear? Yeah, you call me the sinner man, but the problem here is yours. I don't need your brimstone, I don't need your fire, I don't feed corruption. Are you calling me a liar? Yeah, you call me the sinner man, but the problem here is yours. I don't need redemption, I'm a soul you can't ignore. I don't need your healing hands to push me to the floor. Yeah, you call me the sinner man, but the problem here is yours. Yeah, you call me the sinner man, the problem here is yours. Get back.
The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who shepherds the sheep through the valley of the darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers.
Yeah.
And you will know I am the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon you.
I don't need destruction, I don't need your wars, I don't need to take your hand to fight your holy cause. Yeah, you call me the sinner man, but the problem here is yours. I don't need your snake oil, God loves a trier. I don't need your cocaine smile, selling your desire. Yeah, you call me the sinner man, but the problem here is yours. Yeah, you call me the sinner man, but the problem here is yours. Let's go. You call me the sinner man. 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 You call me the sinner man.
The selfish and the tyranny of evil men.
You call me the sinner man.
Blessed is he who
mighty, the one and only Glenn Clark. New material. It's weird, you know. Last night I had a phone chat with Cold Acre for 2 hours on the phone, and we were talking about musicians, and for some reason in my head I was like, I wonder where Glenn Clark's been. He hasn't released a song for a while, and then overnight, boom, he released a song. How cool is that? I'm Jade. This is How to App on iOS. Every day we do stuff and things. There's a pinned comment up the top of the chat. If you'd like to click on Glenn Clark's channel, go and subscribe, because as Thomas Christ would say, he is incredibly undersubbed. That's not what Thomas says, but I'm not going to steal his catchphrase. So go and sub him up. He's got some amazing songs, amazing video clips, and I've had him on the show, and his production levels are amazing. And he's probably not releasing as much music because he's a bit of a thespian these days. He's working in the theatre, and he's killing it in the theatre in New Zealand. He's a theatre producer and performer, and he's so talented. He's amazing, you know. If he moved to Australia, we would claim him as our own, because that's what we do here. Yeah. Welcome to our Wart Warriors as well. For $1 a month, you can become a Wart Warrior and get custom emojis in the chat. And we have another show coming up very soon for Wart Warriors, possibly a roast. I'll let you know soon what's happening. It will be in a few weeks' time. There you go. So you've got the scoop. Hello, TC, our #1 moderator, who's banging out the links. Gary Hubbs, what's going on? Russ8889. Joe Glenn, yes, she's been subbed for a while because it's amazing material. Amazing. And it is. Robbie Stingle, hello. Hello, Gregory O'Sullivan. I'm going to give you the pigeon sound today. Who else is here? Kim Harden-Hudson. Folks, Kim Harden-Hudson's coming on the show this week. I hope you're excited. It's going to be sick. She's going to show us how she made one of her songs. And nothing right, so that's going to be awesome. So you won't want to miss that. The Felcro's here as well. Cold Acre, the aforementioned. That's what he's called now, the aforementioned. If you have a look on Bandcamp, actually, and see, Cold Acre's chosen a name in FMC. I'm Sister Fister in FMC. I can't even remember what Cold Acre's name is. It's stupid. But it's silly, whatever. Oh, man, look at this. Wolfstone Studios just dropped a new track as well. Shall we play that at the end of the show, or shall we wait till tomorrow? Because we got some time to kill today before Pete John's show. So what we're going to do today is I've got a little announcement here at the start of the show, and then we're going to look at today's app. It's something that we won't be hanging on too long because it's not a complex app. And then we're going to do a little bit of Q&A and hang out. And if there's any questions you've got, we're going to do a little bit of that today just to hang out for a bit, because I know Felcro's got a little problem that I'm going to try and help him sort out. Bit of personalised help there. Hello, Pete Johns. I see you there. AUBE, yeah. It's, I've just reinstalled AUBE so we can have some fun with it. The Mix Club, hello to you as well. I think I saw Mateus and, of course, David Collet. David Collet. Nice to see you, David. And David, you put up an amazing post on the Audio Bus forum yesterday, which I don't really go to a lot because I don't like the bickering and stuff that I see on forums. And he put up a wonderful post about supporting people like us who do these shows and how very little money we make from YouTube and how nice it would be to support us. Thank you, David. That was a really beautiful post. I think that was really kind of you to put that post up. And interesting to read the results of what people say, of how much value they give us here on YouTube, learning these apps and doing our best to try and show you the app before you buy it, yeah? Hello, Leela. Leela just had a wonderful show doing her music app show and photographs and music. Is it called Music Chat with Leela? Always a wonderful show with Leela. Yeah, David Calais, I'm just going to call you that from now on, is just an amazing human being. Also, guys, I'll give you a health update later on. We won't bog the show down at the start of the show because that's not worth it. And I won't go into too much detail. But first, I've got an announcement that we need to play from our friend Russ8889. And hopefully while I'm playing this, Russ will go and unlist the video because Russ, alongside with Brad, are working together with hopefully you. Yes, you. You can be a part of this. We're announcing this right now. So I'll play the video and then we'll come back and have a talk about it. This is a really big project and I hope many of you get involved in it because it's really exciting and it's dear to my heart too. So let's play this video and you just get it queued up. I'll be back in a second.
Hello there. As music makers in this community, I would like us to come together and make a compilation album that I will put on Bandcamp and give all the proceeds to children's cancer. So firstly, I would like to do Teenage Cancer Trust in the UK, and then we shall move for the next album to America, hopefully next album to Canada, and then the last one to Australia. So I want you as artists all to write a track for this album, and the rules for this album and the tracks you submit are as follows.
Even though you're going through hell, it's just like, wow, this is where she needs to be.
It feels so much more like a home from home. Hello. They are the best nurses in the world. They're so caring and they have a bond with every single patient.
I just remember being blown away with how knowledgeable they were. But what if this is impacting on her mental health? And I think that's where the youth support coordinator come in.
Nikki shaved Francesca's head and I helped as well, but it was Nikki that did do that. I mean, that's massive.
So, welcome to Ward.
Going on to a Teenage Cancer Trust ward, it definitely felt like a lot different to the hospital that I was diagnosed in.
This is our most important room, which is our social room.
It is a hospital. You can tell it's a hospital. Like, you can see the drips and everything like that, but there's just rooms where it doesn't feel like a hospital. It just felt like it didn't have to be about the cancer.
Hopefully we will get lots of submissions to put on these compilation albums. It can be every genre of music, like the rules are, you know, what's been on the screen. It's just got to be an original song and something that hasn't been released before. You're quite welcome to put it on your own YouTube channel afterwards, after the album's been out. And, you know, if you want to make a video, but just link in the details of what the actual song is for and what it's concerning, and hopefully we can generate some interest for some people that actually listen to our music as well.
Hello, welcome back. Awesome stuff, huh? So, Russ, you can go and rewatch that video over on Russ's channel. He's just made that public for everybody. So, we thought we'd premiere it here today. I'm sure Hippie will play the video over the coming times. Hit me 1 second. I'm back. So, excuse me. So, I'm sure Hippie will play this. I'm sure you'll see it across all the channels over the coming weeks. The cutoff time is September 1st, so there's plenty of time, but that doesn't mean to rest on your laurels. Yeah? We want you to get involved and start putting stuff together. In fact, I have already started my project. You want to hear a little bit? Let me give you a little sample. I've already started some of mine. Let's play it. Nice. Oops, let me add some drums. Wicked. I'm excited. So I'm writing an original song for it. So it's going to be, clearly it's going to be sad and soppy, just the way a song should be. And I'm going to keep it simple. No guitars, just some bass, some strings, piano, and some drums. And it's just going to be all, I'm going to try and sing something that's really vocally acrobatic. Yeah, I'm going to try and sing something really good. Step out of my comfort zone, yeah, because every day within our hospital systems, yeah, behind many, many closed doors, people are dealing with this insidious disease, and it's full on. And there are amazing people out there within the hospital services who do amazing work, and they need funds. They do. So if we as a community can put together something that helps this much, that's this much more than before. So if, I don't know if somebody put the link, can somebody please put the link to Russ's YouTube channel, please, one of my mods, into the chat so people can go over, or even the video that he just made public. And then if you're watching here on the replay, you can go and click on that. Get involved, people. If you've never released a song before, it doesn't have to be anything like super duper, just got to be original, yeah? Good stuff. Alrighty, let's thank you, Thomas, for putting that in there. There you go. There's a link. Wicked. Boom. So what are we doing today? We are taking a look at some price drops first. Of course, Web AU is on sale for $1.79. What a weird price. $1.79. I've never seen that before. It's 20 cents cheaper. It's so odd. What? I've never seen that before. Has there been weird price changes? Anyway, Session Notes is on sale too. I actually have Web AU. So what Web AU is, you can open up an AU and browse the internet from within your door. That's pretty cool. Base Leveler, Changing Landscapes, Maze Rider, Lagrange. Hello, Princess. Like a diamond in the sky. Like that. Pretty good stuff, huh? Matrix Vocoder, Tap Delay, Voxin Pro, Audio Reverb, Cube Synth. All these apps are on sale. Eventide apps are on sale. Versin apps are on sale. So there's plenty of apps on sale. But today we're going to take a look at this bad boy. This thing doesn't make music. Just so you know, this isn't a music app. Oops. This is something different. This is a container for all of your music apps, for all of your AUv3's. So AUBE. This is an audio unit box explorer, as it says here. It's a container, and it's a little bit more than that. It's a keyboard, and it's a boasting machine. For all of those people who can't help but boast how many AUv3's they have, this is the app for you. So it's $5.99. It isn't, I'm pretty sure it's an introductory price. Yes, it is 40% off for the first 2 weeks. So you've got a little bit of time. Thanks, Thomas, for putting the link in there. The links are always in the description for each app that we look at. So 40% off. So if you want this, get it now while it's on sale. And it is really, really cool. So shall we jump over here quickly to the website so we can get a little bit more info. So this is made by Fred Anton Corvest, who is from FAC, makes incredible apps. I think I've nearly got every FAC app because they're that freaking good. They're so good. And as you can see here, what it does is it organizes all of your AUv3's into categories. It makes them all neat so you can find them. You can get information on them. And yeah, look, the website explains everything nice. It's really, really good. We're going to break it down and show you how to use it. Let's do that now. You can find out more at fredantoncorvest.com. That is his official website. So let's have a look. Once you download this, you have to do a few things first. You have to open it as a standalone version. So here it is. Did I reinstall it? Where did I put it? It's probably somewhere back here. I've been moving apps around, guys, so I'm a bit lost where new things. There it is. So you have to open it as a standalone by itself, with not in anything else. So there you can see I have 600 and 52 AUv3's. Now, let's talk about this. The one thing I've noticed since this has come out is a lot of people everywhere posting photos of this image going, look how many AUv3's I have. So not only has this become a helpful tool to help people organize their AUv3's, it's become a little bit of a boasting tool. Like, my cock's bigger than your cock kind of thing, which is cool as well. Yeah? Which is, hey, man, if it makes you happy, it makes you happy, yeah? Whatever it is. No, this one, I've actually removed some since I had 657 the other day. I've actually removed some AUv3's. That's a different story. We'll go into another time why. But so this is the front page, and this is your dashboard, right? So you can see when I hover down here, this is where you can add favorites. So whatever you add as a favorite will appear on this front screen next to your badge of honor. Yeah, next to your badge of honor. But what we're going to start with first, before we go into anything else, we're going to head over to this last tab here, which is General, because there's a few things you need to set up. And you'll notice there's a little exclamation point as soon as you install it, letting you know, come over here and fix this, right? So there it is. So I've clicked on that. Now, you need to give yourself a nickname. I'm going to give myself my nickname, Ridiculosity, which is the name of my studio, Ridiculosity Studios. So now that little exclamation warning point has gone. We've cleared that. And we've got this little bit up here that says keyboard extension not installed. So you need to click on this, and it will take you to your iOS, iPad, or iPhone settings. And it takes you over here to, where is it? It's in settings, general, and the keyboard access to the app. So we're in the AUBE keyboard access. So now we can see keyboards here. What you need to do is click on keyboards, and you need to turn on keyboard access. So this is giving the app access to your keyboard on iOS. Yeah. So now we need to pop over to general settings and over to our keyboards, and you should see up the top here more keyboards. I've got my English keyboard, my emoji keyboard, and now down here we have AUBE as a third keyboard. Cool. So that's all done. That's all set up. That's all you need to do, and you're ready to rock and roll. So let's tell you first a couple of things. We'll open this up back as a standalone. And now our little warnings are gone. Everything's gone. All good. See? So that little thing's gone here. While we're on the settings here, we have this factory reset. So at any time, if you've I don't know how you could screw this up, but if you have, you can do a factory reset and it'll reset everything back to the when you download it, yeah? You've got a little help thing here. So AUBE provides a great overview of the audio units installed on your device. Your effects and instruments are automatically listed and classified. Information such as group, categories, features are already available for most of the known audio units. You can submit your own unknown audio units. They will be classified and be available for all AUB users in an update. Any audio unit which are no more on the App Store will be ignored. So if they're not available anymore, but you still have paid for them and still are able to use them, they may not appear there, it looks like. The submit button will be disabled after the export and will be enabled as soon as new audio units are enabled. Anyway, so there's some information there. You can submit here if you would like. Let's go over back to our dashboard. So we've got 652 here. The next tab down the bottom is effects. So as you can see, it's broken everything up into effects. And they all have a major, like a header category. So a parent category, which is a dynamic, spectral, time, modulation, multi, utility, and default. So Within the dynamic stuff, you have, it tells you here, so you've got a little list. I can zoom in a little bit if we want. You probably can't see it as good. We have compressors, limiters, maximizers, transient shapers, noise gates, transgators, distortion, saturation, wave shapers, amps, tapes, lo-fi bit crushers, and DSs. They can all be found in here. Hello, Mars Capone. Spectral includes EQ, filters, pitch shifters, pitch correction, frequency shifters, frequency modulation, Doppler and vocoders, time, obviously, delay, multi-tap reverb, shimmers, spring reverbs, granular, convolution reverbs, time and stretch, sampler, loopers, modulation, of course, is your choruses, flanges, vibratos, tremolos, ring modulation, panning, stereo width. Multi is combinations of different effects. Utilities are things like waveform viewers, frequency analyzers, phase correlation. And then default is unknown categories with no features. So some of these, and this all depends on how the developer has uploaded their app and what they have put into their metadata. So I'm pretty sure that's how this works. But then if I want to fine tune this further, you'll notice there's a little button up the top here. And this is our little magnifying glass, let's say here. So I can choose just compressors. And it'll give me, as best it can, all of the things that have compressors. Even things that are like Drambo, yeah, which you can make a whole lot of music in. It's almost like a DAW, but it has a compressor in it, yeah? So, or like New Rack effects. New Rack allows you, from 4 Pockets, allows you to build your own effects modules. And in there, there's a compressor that you can make. So Vintage Rack has a compressor. Mixbox has a compressor. Or if I'm just looking for things like noise gates, bang, look at this. So something like Tone Stack Pro, which is a guitar sim, in there, of course, is a noise gate. So anything that has a noise gate inside of the app as well, even Rhino, so Rhino, the guitar app, has a noise gate built into it. So Bruce Free is virtually a noise gate. So, and you can select numerous ones of these to really define your search to see if, you know, whatever you can find. And look, there's a whole lot of stuff. Shimmer, grab, even if we just do time stretch here, boom, there's Paul X Stretch. So pretty cool stuff. And you can clear those at any time. So those are they're just our effects, right? So just effects. Next door, we have our instruments. So these are synths, drums, samplers, generators. So these are things that don't make music, don't have sound, but generate or actually can generate sound. MIDI processors like scalar, anything that can send notes without making sound. These things are more like radio units, you know, it can generate noise and things. What's going on here, Pete? Hitting the wrong buttons.
Boom.
There we go. Where was I? So then we've got some default stuff down here. Again, some things just don't have categories. You've got a list view here. So all of the list view, this is on the 4th tab. Everything here is organized by developers. So if you know who the developer is, you can just scroll through here and find the developer. Yeah. So you can see Audio Brewers, Audio Damage, Audio Modeling. So everything's done by developer. Really cool. Hey, Hugh Caldwell, hope you're well. So you've got all here. I don't know what this certified is. So these are certified. That's selected now. Then you've got all. I don't think you can select individual. No. So it's either all or certified. So there you go. And when you click on any of these, look what happens. It gives you, so we've got a Loopy Pro here. It gives you an effect group that it's in. It tells you what kind of app it is. It's a looper. The effect features it has. Waveform viewer, creative visualizer, metering, MIDI in, MIDI out, pad controller. And at any time, you can click on the little info button. Guess where it takes you? Nowhere. no info or no info. There's no info on this one. Maybe it's on this one. There we go. No info. That's cool. What about Pentabo? Oh, you can turn off the you can turn it off. That's pretty cool. Info, no info. Sweet. But you can favor these as well. So if we go back over here to Loopy Pro and I hit the star and go back to my home page, look at this. Loopy Pro is now here as a favorite. And I can click on it and it takes me to the info page. Sweet, yeah? And if you wanted to send this to somebody, you can share the link, copy that, and for some reason it didn't copy it. Well, that was fun. But it worked on another one. I love live streaming. It's good times. Let's add another one here. What can we do? Let's do a Swam Flute. And we'll favor this. Can I send this? Can I copy this one? Share link. An error occurred. That's nice. Good stuff. Try again. An error occurred. Maybe that needs to be fixed. Good stuff. Not that you're going to be sharing a lot of links anyway, but there you can see my favorites page is got things on here, and I can click and get immediate info on these as well. All right, so the real meat of this, where it gets really exciting, cool, we can look at all this stuff, and that's nice. It's not very practical having it just as a standalone. Where it gets fun is when you're using it in an AUv3, in a door. Now, to be clear, not all doors this is going to work with, because there are some doors out there that don't have a search bar. It is imperative for the keyboard to work. It needs to be in an app that has a search bar. For example, let's create a brand new notepad. If I open a notepad here, right, and I want to use the keyboard, where you would click to bring up your emojis, the little globe icon on your keyboard, I can show you here. So normally you've got show keyboard. If it's on screen, see the little globe here. When I click this now, it not only gives me emojis, if I click it again, look what it does here. It offers a new keyboard section. So you've got 3 keyboards built in. So when I click the globe emoji, it flicks between my English keyboard, my emoji keyboard, and now my AUBE keyboard. And at any time, I can find one of these apps that is installed, say FAC Medusa, and if I click on this, look at that. It gives me the name of the app in text and a link. This is super handy for someone like me and Leela, Thomas, or Russ, whoever's a moderator in somebody's chat. So say we're over on Pete's show. And Pete talks about this new app, Medusa, by FAC, Fred Anton Corvest, and Thomas and me, we're scrambling to find the link. We can go into the keyboard quickly here, find it, click on it, and it gives us a link, and we can copy that and paste it into the chat. That's really cool. So currently we're set to effects, and you can choose instruments as well. So the apps change depending what you're on. Because with AUv3's, there's 3 types of AUv3's. I did a show on this recently. There are instrument AUv3's, yeah, so pianos and trumpets and things. Then there's effects AUv3's, which are the reverbs, chorus pedals, all those kind of things. They are distinctly different. And then there are MIDI process AUv3 apps, which generate no sound, but they send MIDI data to instruments, yeah? So in here, we've got effects and instruments, and it changes down the bottom. So on instruments, we've got synth, drums, sampler, generators, MIDI apps. Hey, thanks, David Collet, for the kind super chat. Man, there's something going on outside that's annoying me. Sounds like bulldozers. What the hell? They're going to bulldoze my house. All right. So, yeah, you've got all these options here. You can scroll through. You can make this keyboard a little bit bigger. There's a little arrow here, and you can make it a little bit bigger so you've got more room to see what's going on. You've got the globe icon down here at fingertips so you can change between the keyboards. What else? We can change the font all that kind of stuff. It's pretty basic stuff. But in here too, as we're looking at, let's look at some synth stuff. So you can see we're on synth instruments at the moment. And we've got Swarm and Agonizer. They're all in alphabetical order. But I also can click over here where these little settings are, and it lets me break this down even further. So if I only want modular synths, I select that. Additive synthesis. Wavetables. So I'm clearing out anything else that isn't in this list, so you can break things down even further. And again, Cauldron, there's the address. So what you need to be aware of, one thing, you can see when I'm changing these, you can see the actual, let's zoom in, you can see the web address under there. Yeah. Hello, Jerry Gomes. So you can see the web address under there. How do we change this so I can open up an app? Well, glad you asked. This little button over here with the magnifying glass, watch what happens when I click it. Watch over here when I click this little magnifying glass. See that? How it changed to just the name of the app? And now when I click on this, it just puts the name of the app with no link. And I'll now show you why that's important. So let's get out of our notes here. So, for example, let's open up AUM. Yes, AUM. Now with AUM, there's a search field in here. So whenever you see me each day showing an app and I open up a brand new audio track, where here I would add an instrument and I click on here, I can pull down and there's a search bar. Any door on iOS that has a search bar and allows you to bring up a keyboard, this is where you can use this. So we've got our search bar and look at that. Now, because this little magnifying glass over here is colored, it's got to be like activated. Look at this. I can just scroll, find the app I want, click it, and it finds it for me up here. And it's now ready to go. So no longer do I have to go in here, choose audio unit extension and scroll. Try that again. Getting ahead of myself. And scroll through and try and find the right one. You know, I can actually get a representation down here and find drums, samplers. So I can get a list of samples here. So there's no AUv3's because I have these all selected. But yeah, if I'm specifically seeking drum apps, they're all here for me. Immediately here, right in front of me in one place, and I can just load Slammer straight in. It appears up here, and we're good to go. So very, very handy for finding apps that are organized simply. Grab another one here, scroll down, and let's go some, what do we want, a sampler, or we'll go for a synth, Animoog, Bop, Bosch, Bitty Boom, all done. Perfect organization. But again, not going to work with a lot of them. GarageBand, it's not going to work with. Cubasis, it's not going to work with. Nano Studio, it's not going to work with. There's a whole lot of DAWs it's not going to work with, unfortunately, because there's no search bar. So, GarageBand, Apple, Cubasis, can you like add a search bar? That would be really handy. Really, really handy. I can show you ones that it does work in. Let's boot this off for a second. So it does work in Loopy. Let's open up Loopy. Now you see that? When I pull down, so you know on iOS, if you take your finger, yeah, like this, and pull down, you get a search section here up the top. But now, because of this added keyboard, when I pull down, if my AUv3 keyboard is selected, look at this. I can find the app straight away and open it from here. Super, super intuitive. So if I'm looking for something like Loopy, I can do that in here. I can delete this. Boom. What is Loopy? Loopy's would it be classed as MIDI? I don't know. Let's do a search for Loopy. It's not in there. I don't even know. sampler, I guess. Yeah, there it is. There's Loopy. So now I can open Loopy. Oh, that didn't work how I wanted it to. Let's do this. Let's find Loopy. Boom. Right, so in Loopy, this is Loopy. If I want to add an effect, because normally you would go over here to add an effect in Loopy, and it brings up this screen here, so you can see all your effect AUv3's. As soon as I hit search here, there you go. There's our little keyboard. Fancy pantsy. And you'll notice, because I've got instruments selected, if I choose any of these, Beat Hawk, it's not going to work. It doesn't do it because it's not an instrument. I have to go to effects, and then we'll use like bark filter, and there it is. There's bark filter. We can scroll. Maybe I want phosphat. Maybe I want gate lab. Maybe I want a reverb. So we can go. So you've got all these different options, mangled verb, and it gives you all of them up here to select from. So it definitely works in Loopy really well. There we go. If I wanted to add an instrument, I would have to go down here, where you add an audio unit input. So we would select there, and you can see here's how it would be, having to scroll through all these here. But again, if we just tap the search bar, we're good to go. Instruments, we can add Beat Hawk. Beat Hawk has now been added in here, and I can load Beat Hawk, and we're good. Why is my screen going black? That's weird. Pretty good, huh? Easy peasy beneasy. So it works in Loopy, no problem. What else does it work in? I can't remember what else it works in. It works in Drambo. So let's load up Drambo. Drambo works wonderfully. Let's create a brand new track in Drambo. Audio unit instrument. Yeah. And we need to do a search. So you can see here, here's all our audio unit instruments. If I pull down, tap search, boom. So as you can see, it works very well. And it's, you know, I think it's going to help a lot of people. I think it's a great idea that Fred has put out, and it's $6 at the moment. So was there any other ones that I worked with? I can't remember. I'm sure there was something else I had it working with. Oh yeah, 8 Matrix. Works with 8 Matrix. Let's see, 8 Matrix, boom. So if we let's add a new AUv3 here. Yeah, so we can see audio units. So now if I hit the search bar, there it is, ready to go. I can add beat cutter, good to go. And we are done, done diddly done. Beat cutter has been added. Oh, hang on. Let's do there we go. Chompler. Boom. Chompler. Show and connect. And there's Chompler. All done. I'm not even using it right, but there you go. So it works in 8 Matrix. I'm not sure. I think it works. I have a feeling it works in Beat Cutter. I'm not sure. Not Beat Cutter. Beatmaker 3. I just don't have Beatmaker 3. So, and let's just hope that as we go on, more developers add a search bar to their freaking things. Hey, Mr. Smith, I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Have I missed anyone who's here? Axiom, what's happening? Checking the chat. It would be great for, this would be really good in GarageBand, because GarageBand is incredibly clunky to find things. Apple, put a search bar in there. Make life bloody easy for people. Then we can use this cool app. I want to talk about a couple of things that people may have missed, though, with this app. Now, the information I'm about to give you could be utterly wrong, but I'm just going on what I'm reading here. So let's see if I can find it, because this is new. So it says down here, things worth mentioning. AUBE provides info about a lot of AUv3's on the market. Any unknown audio units will be removed to the default group section. You can submit those unknown audio units via the general the submit page that we talked about. Submitting is a single export operation. Any audio unit not referenced in the App Store will be ignored. You cannot fill up the group categories or features. The submitted audio units will be classified by us and added to the AUBE database. Info about the database. The database available in AUBE contains more than 1,000 AUv3's. There are more and more AUv3's released frequently. The classification is not trivial and takes time. So this is not a simple thing that you just send off something and they just click their fingers and it's done. This is quite a heavy thing for them to do. And I'm guessing they're not. I'm guessing the way Fred is going to handle this is people are going to submit updates, and then they're going to wait and collect a group of them, and then they're going to do them all at once, right? Because, so here it says, database updates are temporarily free. Pay attention to that. And provided every time a new AUBE version is available. So every time there's an update to the app, it means there will be an update to the database. Starting mid-April 2023, database updates will be available via a paid service in the application. The service does not exist yet. So be aware of that. It will be a subscription. Now I know there's probably people going, no, this is going to be a lot of work to keep all this stuff updated. I understand that completely. It makes utter sense. You know, this is a luxury, man. If you really want this, it's a luxury. AUBE only lists AUv3's available on the device on which it is installed. AUBE cannot access your App Store purchase history. It is restricted by Apple for obvious privacy reasons and security reasons. Your favorites are privately shared across your different devices via iCloud. Your favorites will be only visible if the audio units are installed on your device. AUBE is not AUv3. It does not make sounds. It is a standalone organizer because, trust me, people are going to write bad reviews going, I downloaded this and it doesn't make any music. You cannot run AUBE as an audio unit. You cannot use AUBE keyboard within an AUv3 host app, which does not provide a search text field to locate audio units in list. Although AUBE is running on iOS 15, iOS 16, iOS 16 is required to create badges. AUBE makes no warranties of any kind to the accuracy of classification information provided. Diddly diddly do. Just so you know, user content, we collect the unknown audio units you voluntarily submit. AUBE keyboard is running on restricted access mode and does not track your keystrokes. Okay, so all of that stuff is all covered for privacy and all of that stuff. Yeah, so you know, there's no tracking, there's nothing like that, nothing nefarious going on, because this is a paid app. A lot of apps that you pay for, some, you'd expect most, aren't going to sell your info and track that kind of stuff. Can I have GarageBand on Android? Absolutely not. You never will. I just boom. All right, so that is that. What do you guys think? I think it's a really good idea. In fact, when it dropped, the only thing I saw online was everybody showing how many apps they have on their device. That seems to be the most used thing of it lately, is people boasting how many apps they have. And, you know, fair play. If that's what floats your boat, that's what floats your boat. You know, I got 652. I saw somebody on Facebook who had over 900 apps on their iPad. And not for nothing, I went and had a look. I'm not even going to go there. But 900, man. Wow, that's a lot. I thought I had a lot. So, yeah. Diddly, diddly, diddly do. Why am I doing that? today. Let's jump over here and just let me check one more thingamajig. Where are we? AUBE. And look at that. My keyboard keeps popping up, so I need to switch back to my English keyboard. Douche. Here it is. AUBE. So it works on iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch, not Mac. It would be nice if it was on Mac too. That would be really wicked. I would enjoy that feature as well. Okay, that covers that. $5.99 for a limited time on the App Store. You can get it now. It will be going up in about a week's time because it's already been out for a week. It's 2 weeks on sale. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you think this is for you and all that jazz, hit like, do all that stuff, and subscribe. We've got a bit of time, so I'm going to cover a few things. I'm going to hang out for a little bit today. That is the end of our tutorial for the day. Yeah, we're done with that. I reckon it's wicked. Good stuff. Good job, Fred. And if you are a Patreon, I may have a few to give away. Who knows? So watch the Patreon space, my friends. Okay. Yes, indeed, hippie.
Boom.
Diddly.
Boom.
Diddly.
Boom.
Diddly. Good stuff. All right, now, Velcro. Let's talk about the Velcro. The Velcro has recently been getting into iOS, and he's got GarageBand running, and he seems to be having an issue trying to run GarageBand and the YouTube app at the same time. And what we need to talk about for Velcro, because Velcro has come from a world of PCs and he's moved into the world of iOS, let's talk about the differences between a PC and an iOS device, because they are starkly different. iOS does not run like a PC. Now, when you're on a PC, you can open various programs all at the same time. The multitasking of a PC is worlds apart from how iOS works, yeah? So, especially in relation to sound cards that are built into PCs. When you open a PC, you have your sound device, yeah? And you are able to have multiple things running. You've got Reaper open, you've got a browser open with Safari, and you can control all these volumes, all different volumes. You can chuck a microphone in, a USB microphone, you can do all these things. You can have 4 doors open if you've got enough RAM and all that kind of stuff. And you can individually change all of these volume settings. Because of the way that Windows is set up, it is quite, it's a standard that has been around for a long time. Now, iOS doesn't run the same way. When you're on an iPad, you have your screen here and you have apps. And when the iPad first came out, there was no like background, things you could run in the background. Whatever app you had open at that time was that app you had open at the time. You'd have to shut that down and open up another app. You couldn't do things like open up a browser and then go like this and then add another browser and have 2 browsers. You couldn't do this back in the day. See, now we can have multiple browsers here on iOS, split screen. And even now on iOS 16, you can do things like this, where I can go into my settings here. And God, where do I do this? I haven't done this for a while. Home screen multitasking. Is this where it is? We can turn on Stage Manager these days. Well, now that Stage Manager's on, I can open a Safari and I can grab this and make it smaller. And look at that. So now I've got Safari like this, and then I can grab one of these and have 2 things open. So now I've got 2 things on top of each other and I can flick between them very easily. I can push that over to the side, or maybe even bring in another browser here, or 2. So now I've got 2 browsers. So back in the day, though, iOS was not this, complicated for having multiple screens. We've only just got this feature of being able to, make browsers smaller and have multiple things on the screen like this, and bringing in like another one, like the settings here. So now we've got 3 things. Well, we did have 3 things. So yeah, it's only just got to this point. So that's just multitasking in general. And I know I am heading somewhere with this. I want to get to this point around sound, because it is important. So with your iOS device, when you don't have anything plugged into it, it has its own sound card built in, right? So you'll know if you play music through the speakers on your iPad or your iPhone, it plays sound. If you choose a microphone at any time, it will be the microphone on the device, right? And those sound settings run at 48 kilohertz. 48, so there's 44.1, 48, then you got things like 98, 192, yeah? But the iPad runs at 48, and that is its set, sound, yeah? When you plug in an audio interface, the audio interface has a broader spectrum, right? So the broader spectrum is 44.1 to 48 to 96 to 192. So you've got a wider spectrum. And sometimes you'll notice when you plug in your interface, you'll hear the iPad take a few seconds to recognize the interface that you've plugged in. That is the iPad giving access of the sound to the interface. All right? So once you have given over, once it does a handshake, you plug it in, it does a handshake with the device, and then it allows the interface to take control of the sound, right? So hopefully you're following along how it works. So that's why when you plug in an interface, it takes a few seconds for it to connect. And I can't really show you this because if I unplug, if I unplug here, you won't be able to see my screen anymore, all right? I suppose I can do it here. What else will it affect? Let's do this. Let's jump over here to AUM. Now at the moment, if I select up here and choose a hardware input, you can see it has a mini fuse connected. This is my interface. So these are all the channels I can select. Okay. Now, if we go over here to this screen and I unplug, all right, so now we've lost the vision of, but you can see here, when I choose this input now, it's only finding the onboard microphone, right? My onboard microphone. If I go into settings now and look at the settings of this, you can see the sample rate. It's probably a bit blurry. It says 48 kilohertz. If I put the camera back and we plug in, and now it'll recognize the device. It'll come back in a second. So it's searching. So now our device is back. I just need to go over here and fix this. This is something that you don't need to worry about. It's just an iOS thing. Right. So now, when we come over here, I can actually select a different range of sample rates. See all these? 44.1, 48, 64, 88.2, 96, 192. This is because now the interface is connected, which has a wider sample rate than what iOS had, which was 48, right? So in saying this, the problem Velcro, I think, is having is he's trying to, let me just get out of this multitasking thing. We'll go back to no multitasking. Sweet. The problem Velcro is trying to have, he's trying to use the iPad like he would use a PC. And he opens up GarageBand and he's like, cool, I want to plug in my guitar and start playing along here. And I want to have YouTube running as well. And I want to play some music over here on YouTube. And I want to play that, but I want to be playing guitar over here on my GarageBand. The problem is, doesn't always work that way, Velcro, because both apps, sometimes it depends on the app. It really does depend on the app and how much control the app has over the sound card, yeah? So when you've got two apps that are fighting for a sound, for the sound card, you're going to get your issues. What I would suggest, so you're getting a really weird warbling sound every time you're playing music on here, so Let me bring this up. I need to turn on my interface. Make sure my interface is connected now because I had to re-plug in. If I go over to YouTube, now you can see I'm trying to play this and it's not playing. So now we're playing. So I'm able to play YouTube, but can I record at the same time? That is another question. So the thing you need to check, so it's hard. It's hard over email to work out exactly what you're wanting to do this for. So the one thing you need to make sure you have selected in GarageBand here is run in background. Yeah, hopefully you've got that selected. Use with music apps. Switch on optimize GarageBand performance so that at least you can use your AUv3's. I have multi-track set on. Did you know also, Falcro, there are settings over here in your settings. You can scroll down all the way down here and there are GarageBand settings in settings. How interesting. Why they do this is beyond me. Here's where you have crosstalk protection. I don't think you need any of these. Automatic recording length. Enable iOS plugins. Reset GarageBand if there's ever a problem. But how I've always done stuff, as you can see, I should be able to play guitar to that YouTube. So if I just grab a guitar here, yeah, plug this in. Go back over to GarageBand. Let's get out of here and create a brand new project. And we'll choose a clean. Turn on monitoring. Okay, so I've got my guitar connected to GarageBand. Now, so the one thing you can't do, just to be sure, you can't record YouTube into here. You can take files and dump them into GarageBand to play along with. But let's see if I grab something like go over to YouTube, grab one of my songs like Jade Starr. If I can spell, do what makes you happy. Let it play. This is not another love song. It is about being true to yourself. It's all you can rely on. Friends who love you for being your true self. You may think it be, but we are connecting right now. Here, your selflessness is all you need, and then. So I can play along with that. So is this apparently Falcro's issue is every time he does, that's what you're trying to do, yeah, Falcro? You're trying to play the music in the background and play along with it. So I don't know why you're having an issue. There it is. You just saw me do it right there. Play my guitar along with it while it's running in the background. So I don't know what's happening on your end, but I have, just so you know, my settings here on my mini fuse on my audio interface is set to, monitoring is set to USB. So it's not set to input, it's set to USB. Let's see what happens when we go the other way. And it depends on your interface too. I'm not sure what interface you have. If it is totally class compliant with iOS as well, that's another thing. Let's see if it's still. still working. So you can see that I have it working. It's still making sound in GarageBand. I guess, yeah. Again, probably just check and make sure that running in the background is, so you can run GarageBand in the background, and that should work. But it could be something to do with PreSonus USB 96. It does say it's class compliant. But as you can see, it does work. So it should work. And I'm sure there's going to be possibly other people trying it. I don't know why you're getting a warbling sound. It could be. That's a solution. I don't know. Let's see if it does work, Thomas. So here's a solution. This may work for your Velcro. There's an app available. You'd have to buy it, called Tube AU. I don't know if it works. I think it does work to play stuff. So let's see. Oops. I have to start a new thing here. So if we go over here, audio unit, Tube AU. And what this does, it allows you to open GarageBand inside, open YouTube inside GarageBand. Look at that. Look at that. So now I've opened this as an AUv3. So I can do a search now for Jade Starr. Do what makes you happy. Makes you happy. Let's see if it works. There's the track. So now that's open in GarageBand as its own track. Look at that. So it's playing. Let's add my guitar to it. So that's pretty cool. There's an alternative. And that thing's, I need to check more settings. I have never checked the settings on the iPad for the interface. Look, if you can't get it working, my suggestion is to grab this. How much is this thing? This thing's pretty cheap as well, I think, this Tube AU. And as you can see, to install it, to run it, so all you need to do, because it's an AUv3, you would be in GarageBand here. It's $14. All right, so it is a little bit hefty. So yeah, you would just add a new instrument in here. Find your AUv3's. And yeah, Tube AU. And then you can load up YouTube in GarageBand without having to load it separately in the background. So there are alternatives. Now this is the thing. The volume doesn't warble. It acts like the volume is being turned up and down. Yeah, so it's like a limiting kind of thing. Make sure the interface is set to 48 kilohertz. Well, I think GarageBand's in 44, if I'm correct. So that wouldn't help, because GarageBand takes over and GarageBand's in 44. This is the thing with iOS. Everything's in different things. It's all... Here's the deal. I'm just going to say it. As an iOS musician, and I know this is going to hurt, but we're going to tear the Band-Aid off and say it. iOS is amazing. The iPad and the iPhone is amazing technology. It's a piece of glass in your hand that you can do amazing shit on. But you got to work really hard to work around certain things. If you're coming from a PC to an iOS device, you have to make, you have to compensate for things, and you have to work around things to make things work sometimes. Sure, it's a lot easier these days to use iOS. the software has, got running in the background and files and stuff. Back in the early days of iOS, you couldn't even open 2 apps at the same time. You couldn't even send one sound from another app to another. So it's growing, but it's not a PC. You have to start thinking totally different. It's why Apple's concept is think different. Yeah, it always has been. No, Greg, what I'm saying is certain apps, when you open them, run at a specific hertz, and GarageBand, you'll notice when you do an export in GarageBand, right? So if we go over here to GarageBand, you got 24-bit resolution. You can change the resolution. Whoops, I'm not showing you the screen. You can change the resolution from 16 to 24-bit. That's the resolution. But there's no option in GarageBand to change it from 48 to 44.1. And when you do an export in GarageBand, it always exports the song at whatever resolution you have chosen, and it always exports in 44.1. Where in Cubasis, you can choose. When you're in Cubasis or you're in AUM, you can actually choose. Yeah? So that is the choice you get. GarageBand 44.1, that is it. There is no... It hijacks the entire interface and decides for you. That is GarageBand. That is one of the limitations of GarageBand, right? It doesn't give you the flexibility of what something like Cubasis can do. So if you open up Cubasis, for example, Cubasis 3, you can actually go into the settings and you can decide. So we can open a new project, whatever, create new project. You've got the setup down here. You can go into your setup audio. Where are we? Multi-core processing, user interface, general. I can't even remember where all this stuff is. I haven't used this for ages. Where are we? Zoom panel, audio, multi-core processing. Fuck, man. I'm doing all this on the fly, trying to help with this. Where are we? 128. So here we go. Here's where we can change our resolution. So we can go up to 32 resolution with Cubasis, And here's our sample rate. Look at that. Cubasis gives us the opportunity to change to 48. See, sample rate was set to 44 kilohertz because either the hardware doesn't support your initial setting or another app is blocking it. We have GarageBand open at the moment. So let's get rid of GarageBand. Anything else that's running, any audio? You got to remember, if you've got another app open that's controlling the audio of the iPad and the interface, and you open up something else, it's not going to let you change it because something else is already controlling it. So if we go to 96, see now how I shut down GarageBand, and now in Cubasis I can change it to 48. I can change it to 44. I can flick between all these sample rates because Cubasis has control now of the audio interface. Same thing, if I now jump out of Cubasis, delete it from the background. So you need to remove it from the background. So you swipe up. Now if we open AUM and jump over here to our settings, you can see I can now go in here. It's set to 44 and we can go in and change this to 96. No problem. Done. 96. If we go over here, 64. Can't set sample rate because something else controlling it. Nice one. So we can change to 48. But then if we shut down this again, it's probably confusing a lot of people. And now we open GarageBand. It's now going to be set to 44 because GarageBand has taken control of the audio interface. Yeah? So now if we go and open AUM while GarageBand's open, go over here to our settings, look at that. It's back to 44 because GarageBand is in control of currently of the sound card, of the audio interface. So these are things that Apple don't explain to people, but you need to know. You need to understand this stuff. So the best thing to do, Velcro too, is if you're doing this kind of stuff and you're you want to open up, say, GarageBand and YouTube. Let's open up a couple of things now. So we've got GarageBand open. So we'll open up Safari. We'll open up Cubasis. And we'll open up AUM. Whenever you scroll up from the bottom, right, like this shows you what is currently running in the background of your iOS device. So if you have multiple sound devices like AUM and GarageBand, Cubasis, all these things are fighting for control of your audio interface. So if you want to start a fresh project where you want to open GarageBand and YouTube, you go in here and you swipe these away. You just swipe up with your finger, like that, like that, like that. You clear these away. Now nothing's running in the background. So you can control exactly what's working. So you would open up GarageBand, then open up YouTube, because you never know. If you're not swiping these things away, you probably got all these things running in the background and people don't know. So especially with audio, it's best to go and swipe these things away and make sure you got nothing running in the background, because one app will hijack another app and another app will hijack another app, especially with sound. So it's something they don't explain, but it can be a bit confusing. Yeah. But the other option is, if it doesn't work, you can always just lash out and buy this wonderful app here, which I did a review on, called Tube Audio Unit. And as you can see, you can just open up YouTube in GarageBand. Now, I can't play any of this stuff because I'll get a copyright claim, but it's super easy. I can, go over here, find Gary Hubs, just for example. Grab one of his songs, Into the Pit, Heartbeat, and I can play it here in GarageBand and plug in my guitar in another channel. And I can control the volume of YouTube in here. So there's that option as well. I hope this has kind of helped. We'll continue to try and get you there, Felcrow. Because, there is no impossible. There's just I'm possible, as Felcrow says. Cool stuff. Hopefully that's helped some of you. I know I've been rabbiting on for a little bit. Is there any things that people might want to ask? Whoa, shit. Stop. Stop playing, you prick. We might go out today and play the new Wallstone, which I saw drop before. Did that drop before? We've got Pete Johns coming up next with GarageBand Weekly. I just thought I'd take a bit of time at the end of today's show because I don't get to do this and just, try and sit down and help Falcro. If anyone's got any questions, other things they might want answered, we can have a look at. That's up to you. I saw the Wolfstone dropped a new track while we were doing this show with Hugh Caldwell. Look at that, 1 hour ago. So how about we go out with today's show? We'll play that for a bit of fun. We'll leave that there for now. What I can tell you guys, a bit of excitement here. I'm not sure if this is available for all of you yet, but today, look what dropped on Apple Music. Boom! The new FMC is available now on Spotify, Apple Music. All of the streaming services, somehow the artwork got through. And look, they didn't even put asterisks on my band name. Amazing. So here it is. It's available. The FMC song is now out on all streaming services. Amazing stuff. Good stuff. Let's cover some stuff that's happening for the end of this week. Then I'll tell you a little bit about my health because I can't go into too much about it because we've still got things to do. Tomorrow we're kicking off a new series. Hopefully this won't go too long. I'm going to start making the video clip for the Kindercore Gospel of Hate video. So we'll start this tomorrow in LumaFusion. So if you want to brush up on some tips on LumaFusion, maybe see something you haven't seen done before, I'll try and do some new techniques and we'll start putting together the music video for this. And then on the day after we're doing this baby, unless card subject to change, Pocket Singer. So this is an AI vocalist you can add to your music, and you can type in the words, and it's a fully AI vocalist. It's free to download, stuff like that. And then we are rounding out the week, my friends, with the wonderful Kim Hardin-Hudson is coming on the show. She's going to hang out with me for around 2 hours, and we're going to take a look at her project in GarageBand on Mac. And we're going to show you how she made the song, how it's all put together, and run through the process. We're going to isolate all her vocal tracks. We're going to put her under the magnifying glass. It's going to be good fun, man. I love doing this. So we'll spend some time with Kim, and I know you guys all love Kim because Kim's amazing. How do you mix 7.1 spatial audio? You'll have to, you know what? That's a great question, Cold Acre. And if you'd like to find out more about that, I have a second channel which is about to kick off called How to Mac on iOS. Yeah? How to Mac on iOS. And maybe Thomas could put the link in for me. If you would like to go and sign up to How to Mac on iOS, it is about to kick off very, very soon. And probably not this weekend, probably next weekend. It's about to kick off, where we will be taking a look at, firstly, how do you find all the stuff on the Mac? If you've come from a PC to a Mac, where is all this stuff? No, how do I open a window? How do I close a window? Why does it have an X button? We'll go through all that stuff. We'll find everything on the Mac, the differences between a PC and a Mac. We'll go through all the settings, everything on a Mac, just so you know where everything is. And then we're going to start to make some music on a Mac. And we're going to cover all this kind of stuff, like how do you mix 7.1 spatial audio, all this kind of stuff we will go through. So come over to the channel, join the channel. It'll kick off. It'll be live streams at first, and then there'll be recorded content. And essentially, I'm going to be finishing off my DreadCircus album over there on that channel, moving everything from my iPad over to the Mac. So it's going to be a big, big job. All right. It's going to be it for the day. I think we're going to get out of here. Guys, I've got a lot of stuff on my plate at the moment. I know I seem okay. I'm not. I'm pushing through. Yesterday was a terrible day at the doctor's. My blood pressure is sitting at around 130 over 100. I've been put on blood pressure tablets. My vitamin D, I have a vitamin D deficiency. You're meant to have around 72 as a vitamin D. I'm currently at 23. They put me on an emergency. I had to go to a compound pharmacy yesterday to get an emergency script of vitamin D and take 3 tablets immediately. And these are tablets you only should be taking once a week, and I had to take 3 at once. Today, I am heading in to have a biopsy. I don't know what to tell you. And tomorrow, I'm going in for an ultrasound in a really bad place. And I'll be honest, I'm really scared. But that's it. That's all I can give you right now is what's going on. I'm going to keep pushing through with the show, and just everything's business as usual. And I'll let you know as soon as I find out more exactly what's happening. But it's not looking good. Let's just go there. All right? But as anything, fucking do the things that make you happy and always fight. Never give up. Keep pushing through. Don't let the motherfuckers get you down. And just fight. You'll always win, yeah? So that is it. And don't be a Nazi. All right, I'm out of here. Do the things that make you happy, guys. Remember, mistakes make you better, and we'll all rise together. I'll be over at Pete's show for a little bit, and then I have to go into hospital for this is my second biopsy. So, but some good news yesterday. The mole up the top of my shoulder was cool, but the one down below is not. And we already know that. But so that is what it is. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah? Do it.
We'll all rise together. 'cause you make me shine better, and we'll all rise together. You make me shine better. And when the night is cold